Alright, just a quick video for you guys. This was the rear engine mount that was replaced. The top was actually kind of ripped, but the top piece where the hook is that bolts into the motor behind, it's actually missing. I don't know, I think I lost it somewhere in the garage, but I'm gonna get on with the video. You have to take out, to change the rear engine mount, you have to take out the strut brace that's here on top of the motor. Now in order to do that, these are 12 millimeter. You take out the 12 millimeters from here. 1, 2, and then 3. This is the third one right here that you got to take out. So you got to do 1. You got to take off 1, 2, and 3 on this side, and then you got to take out the other 3 on this side. So another 1, 2, and 3. Then you have 2 10 millimeter. One right here on the fuse box here, and then another one back here, right here on the wiring in the back here to hold up all the wiring and stuff. So now I'm gonna lift the bar off. Oh, but first you gotta see this right here. It's sitting on this, so I'm gonna have to push this to the side so it'll come on. And also lift this above the fuse box so I can get this out. So I slid this out at the side of the fuse box. So you lift this bar out, take the bolts out that I told you, put it up to the top, you move it out the way. Alright, now I'm going to tell you how I got to the mount and how I changed the rear mount down here. I unplugged also this sensor right here in order to get more hand movement. There's a little clip on the bottom that you press. It's a little hard, but should be able to do it. It's being pain in the ass, doesn't want to come out. You need to take this out also. So you slide it out to the side and you push it around that. And then next, you're gonna have to take this hook off. It's a 10 millimeter in order to get enough arm room at the bottom. You gotta take out that 10 millimeter. You can use like a short socket 10 millimeter to take that off. You take this off also, and then you pushed all these wires, push them to the side and stuff like that. Alright, and this is where you'll be, sliding the mount out from over here under all these wirings up through here, because these wirings you're able to move back and forth, so you can slide the mount out here on the side, because that's what I did. I slid it out through right here. Okay, so now everybody knows how it's set up. These are the extensions that I used. I used the impact extensions from Harbor Freight. I'll show you, these are like 2 12-inch, and I use the deep socket. So this is what it looks like. Oh yeah. And then you put this in here and put it on the top. Oh, I got the swivel neck. I guess I have an impact gun. Makes the jobs easier, but I didn't use it on the mount. This is a swivel neck, 1/2 inch swivel neck. This is what I've been using, impact swivel neck. I didn't use the regular one because I don't like the regular ones. They can't take a beating like the hardened metal, the impact gun socket swivel neck. So that's what I use on a regular wrench. Well, you could use a breaker bar, because I think I did use a breaker bar to break the bolts loose. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my girlfriend to hold the camera while I show you guys what you guys need to do. You gotta get down here. Alright, yeah. Alright, thanks. This is not a 14, that's a 15. The bolt's holding down the mount to the ground. Holding the mount down to the base is a 15. I mean, it's 14. Put this. Yo, what the hell is going on? This is not a 15 either. This is a 16. Let me try a 17 and see. Yeah, these are 17. The ones on top, the big ones, are 17. So you pick up these, which is not too hard. Well, they're gonna have some pressure to it. Okay. I'm gonna leave it at that. Tighten these down really good. All right, so you take out this one, and then you take out this bolt here. This is the second one. It's just like the front one here. All right, got it. Thanks. You take out this one, and you take out this one. The one here on the side with the pink. Take out those two bolts. After you take out those two bolts, this bracket will come off. Just like if you look at my video for the front engine mount, as you can see what I'm talking about, you know exactly where I'm coming from when I told you this. It's the same exact thing for the back. So with the back, you're able to reach everything that you need to reach with this extension. So with this extension, you just reach down in the back here. After you take off the top, and use the swivel head, and you put it on the bolts. See? The swivel head, it sits directly on the bolts. So you just turn it, break it loose. Put this one here, turn it, break it loose. Put this one right here. The swivel head, put it right here. If you can't get it to sit directly on the bolt, use your hand and push over the socket so it'll sit on the bolt. And then you just put the other one, just put it around like that. Right on the next bolt, just turn it, break it loose. And that's it. Like, and then you get one of these sockets right here, because you can't get a the swivel head behind here to take out the bolt that sits in this, in the body frame of the car. So you got to use a ratchet, like I told you. Just like I told you with the front one, you got to use a ratchet and put it on in front of the mount, because this mount that sits here in the back, this is how it sits in the back. This is how the mount sits. Then there's a bolt right here in front of the mount. You have to break that loose. That's in front, down there. but you can't see it because this bracket is in the way. But if you guys saw my video with the front mount, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't, then just check out my front engine mount video, because the back mount and the front mount is the same ones. Well, the back one might be a little bit stronger, but the front one and they're basically identical the way that they're made up. Okay, and just like you take out the front one, the same way you take out the back one. You take out those bolts with the swivel neck, socket. I think the bottom ones are bolts. I think they're 14 or 15s, and then these are 17s. The ones on top. This one and this one are 17s. I think these on the bottoms are, yeah, I think they're like 14s or 15s. And then you take out this one. This is a 14, I think. Let me double check. Let's just double check this bolt. Yep, it's a 14 millimeter for the middle bolt that connects the frame to the frame of the car. It's a 14. So the one right here that's under this bracket is a 14 millimeter. 14 millimeter under here. So then there's gonna be a vacuum hose under the bottom that connects to here. Right? So when you slide, you're gonna then jack up the engine from the J pipe right here. You can jack it up here under the J pipe, so that'll jack the car up. So once you jack the car up, you can slide. Where's the mount again? Okay. So once you jack it up, it'll clear the top of the engine mount in the back. So once you jack it up high enough, the top bracket that's right here, that sits in the back, this bracket right here, this will clear this mount. So then when it clears the mount, after you take out the bottom bolts also, like I explained, once you take out this one, the bolt that sits in the bracket there, the 14, you put a pipe on it, on a wrench. Put a piece of pipe on the wrench, and you break the wrench. You break the socket loose. That's what I did to break the nut loose that connects this to the body of the engine. Top piece that broke off. And you jack up the mount under the car on the J pipe. It'll clear this piece right here. So once it clears this top of the mount, then you slide the mount out to the side. When you slide the mount out, the mount will come over here. Slide it out to over here on the side. But don't forget, there's a hose on the bottom, but that just unplugs. So you could just unplug the hose out of the bottom of it, out of the bottom of the mount, and just slide it out. As soon as you unbolt it, when you slide it to the side, just flip the mount over a little bit to the side, slide the hose off, and then you shimmy the mount out through here by pushing the wires to the side, and you shimmy the mount out this side, and it comes out right here, and boom, you got the mount out. So then you take the new one, slide the new mount in, okay, and then you put in, first when you slide the mount in, don't forget the vacuum line. You need the vacuum line. This vacuum line needs to be connected. But what there is there's a bracket that sits under it, and you have to slide the hose under the bracket, okay? You can't miss it. There's a bracket under the mount. As soon as you take out this mount, there's a bracket, and there's a big opening in the middle down here, in the middle of the bracket. That bracket, you run the hose under that bracket into this, and then you just sit the mount down, and then you bolt it down one by one with these bolts. These 15s, 14 to 15s. You bolt these down to the frame. Once you bolt those down to the frame, those 4 bolts down to the frame, on the bottom. After you bolt those down, 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? Then you lower the motor onto the mount. Lower the motor onto the mount. Okay? Then after you lower the motor onto the mount, this groove will line up with this bracket. And when it lines up with that bracket, then you just, tighten the bolt down on the front here. The bolt on the top that sits in that bracket. The 14 millimeter, you just tighten it into the bracket. And then you just put this the cover back on, the bracket back on top. Then you bolt these two 17 millimeters down, and that's it. And then you put everything back, and you changed everything. And you change your rear engine mount, but make sure you plug this back in. Make sure you bolt this back in. Make sure you put this hose, the power steering pressure hose, back in. Back in the holder right here. And then you just put this back on, the bar, strut bar, brace. And you put this back. Put the 10 millimeter back here. Yeah. Then you lift this up to line up with this. And then you bolt it back down, and that's it. Change your rear engine mount. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.